Herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Episode von Journey to the Chateau in Saint-Paul in Frankreich hier, Château de Colombe. Jede Woche was anderes.
Salut à tous, bienvenue à Journey to the Château de Colombe in Saint-Paul.
And now to English-speaking friends from all over the world. Welcome to another episode of Journey to the Chateau. It's all about our very unexpected plum harvest.
Yes.
Wild plum harvest.
It's basically our second harvest. We had our red currant harvest, and now we're having our wild plum harvest.
Well, the crop at least. But so last year we had so many mirabelles, and then we had the summer flu, and after we were better, they were all gone. But this year the mirabelles, besides one tree, one large tree, that looks like it's actually bearing some nice amount of fruit. All the others have like one or two or none. And instead we have the wild plum harvest. So that is, it's fantastic.
Right.
And well, one thing that €4 steamer that we got last year.
At the MIUs.
Yes. So one thing is that the wild plums, they're like the size of a big cherry and have pits that are bigger than cherry pits. And yes, so we could just sit here with this implement thing or just cut them in for hours and hours. Now the steamer is fantastic, and no, we're not spokespeople for anyone. We're not sponsored by anyone. But so for stone fruit, the steamer is absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you make a cut in each fruit, throw them in. 45 or 55 minutes later, you have, well, depending on how much fruit you put in, we have, with the first batch that we cooked today, we got, I'm saying this because we have two batches for today, and I'm not digressing, but we had about 4 liters of juice. So it's fantastic, and it has some pulp in it, which we're gonna freeze and put then into sauces.
Right. Lots of things we're going to use.
Yes, and well, the chutneys.
Yep.
Our fig tree, it's kind of exploded.
Right. Figs are going to be great again this year. Right.
It's fantastic, but so apparently in this early spring they have one whole crop. It's not a crop. So there are a lot of figs on there. They're huge, and all they do is they now turn to mush. But there are hundreds of figs that are small in this mix.
Right.
Yes, so both are from this year, but one is, I don't know, so it's like a fake crop.
Yeah, it's very odd. We'll have to try to find out more about that. It's very interesting. They do like an early. They fruit with the figs early, and then they don't really develop all the way to be usable, and they sort of drop them, but then they start developing the real versions.
Well, they're all real, but still, it's
the usable ones, right?
Yes, so it's so fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, over a year here, and still we are every day learning something new. It's
Absolutely.
fantastic. Have a look.
Hello.
Hello.
Is there someone in there?
Yeah, it is. It's me. Wow. This is 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Our dogs are delightful, I hear.
Yeah.
Good Lord. And it was not a single fruit on this shrub last year.
No.
And I said, looks like a plum, but maybe it's not because there's nothing on it. So it's a wild plum.
Is there 2 trees here?
This is just one tree here, and then over there is another one further down.
Oh, okay.
This is the next tree. This is just one tree.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't picked anything here if you want to have a look at these branches here.
Yeah.
So they basically let them go when they are ripe. So there's a difference when you pick them when they are really, really ripe. They just fall right into hands.
Right.
The ones that are ripe but not completely done yet, they are, you have to pull a little bit, but not much. I mean, it's not like these are super glued to the tree. The only thing I'm thinking here right now that's not completely like overjoying me is that I need to pet each and every one of them.
Right.
See, when they're so ripe, they just fall off with the slightest touch. So when I take one next to it, they fall. But I'll pick them up from the ground. This is falling on thick grass, so that doesn't matter. So I would assume that, I don't know, 2/3 of these fruit will go to the birds and other critters. Because, first of all, they're so tall.
Well,
high
yeah,
up.
I mean, that is some of those are way up there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's fair. Don't need to have all of it, right?
Yeah.
But I'm really amazed. So this is a tree that will likely have a huge you can get a huge harvest every 2 years, and the other year it's just very nothing. Very mediocre to nothing. This is for plum jelly, which is fantastic with, again, with meat dishes. For the juicer, anything with a pit in it, the juicer is fantastic to use because you don't have to sit here for 2 or 3 hours to take the pits out of these amounts of plums. Be very careful if you have a very sharp knife, of course, as always. Leave the cutting myself to me. But it's really lovely because what you do is you just do a little cut. So the steam, when it starts, will penetrate this and it will more easily juice because it doesn't have to pop the skin. Now, I was talking to Jane, and from Not Quite a Chateau DIY, and said, well, you could just pop them in the freezer overnight, and because when they freeze through in a bag, it pops the skins as well.
Right, and that's the same thing with the slow berries that we had. That does the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But having said that, I'd love to do that, but these need to go today. So
And quite honestly, We are a little limited in our freezer space.
We are, isn't it sad?
Yeah.
But again, this sink is just fantastic. Love it.
Now you have to start with something. So our first two batches of wild plum, of the wild plum harvest, right there, it's wild plum ginger jam or marmelade or confiture, depending on where you are.
Right.
The other batch is cinnamon port wine plum marmalade or jam or confiture.
Whatever you want to call it.
And it's cooking that was always fantastic. I mean, with
the smells.
the cinnamon and the
Oh, yeah.
So that is going to be fantastic for Christmas time, and now soon to be coming is, well, hopefully, are some other plums. They're much larger and they ripen later, thank goodness, because how do you deal with all of this at once while renovating a bathroom and a bedroom, a large bedroom? And trying to keep nature under control, which is also part of next week. Our front pillars, they're so pretty. And within 5 weeks, they were completely clean. They are now completely overgrown. So we're just going to show you that, how quick that grows. It is absolutely obnoxious.
Yeah.
Really. So they need to be freed. There's some ivory removal coming too, again.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so satisfying, really, to do this.
Right. And one of the other things that we have done recently that you might see in the background here is we finally,
The door's not closed.
I know, is that we finally started finishing the door
Yes.
that goes from the kitchen to the back kitchen or
Der Kitchen,
whatever
yes.
you want to call it, right?
Yes, Back Kitchen, der Kitchen oder Hinterküche sozusagen.
That, yes.
So yeah, that's great. So, but we have these huge gaps. So now there is the first batch of filler in.
Right. Yeah, because we had, in
yeah.
case you don't remember, what we had done is there was the same door was here before, and what we did was, after all of the injuries that happened because the door was way too low, that both Patrick and his father both hurt themselves
Severely.
on this door because it was so low. So what we did was we raised it up, and so now we're putting it back, frame and door, in a much higher,
Yes.
better position.
It's safe now.
Yes.
For taller people.
Yes.
Taller people have rights too.
Yeah, so now that we had to raise it up, what Patrick is doing is he's doing all the finishing stuff with the plaster and to fill in where around the outside of the door frame.
Right. I have to say the door is now more plumb than it was before when we took it down.
It's true.
And it went incredibly smoothly. So we were, we got a lot of dust on us and had to adjust things 5, 6, 7 times, but that's really nothing. And the end result, we're so thrilled. Have a look.
Do you want to see this?
Oh, sure.
I mean, is it that there was a big piece broken out? This was woodworm eaten. Why that section and not the next section? I don't know. Must have been more tasty.
Especially
or something.
delicious, yes.
So that was pulverized, basically. So what I'm doing here is this is wood filler. This will be sanded eventually when it's dry. And when this then is sanded and painted, you'll not see that this was ever an issue. Isn't it nice?
It's great.
So what you see there behind Stuart, that's wood. We locally sourced trim that will go on the door. There was trim which was, of course, it was okay, which we're going to reuse.
Right.
But this trim almost exactly mirrors the trim of a dining, the door frame to the dining room. So it's really thick. It's really pretty. It's 18th century. We're thrilled that we found that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And locally.
Yeah.
So that is absolutely splendid. And once that goes up and it's painted, needs to be, of course, cut, primed, painted. That is going to be so nice. and then it's the kitchen that needs to be addressed and finished up, and after that, we will have the complete kitchen review, won't we?
We will, yes.
And it's really exciting because then it's truly a huge part of the planning for the first year that we wanted to do is then done. And I'm looking around and I can't believe we're actually sitting in this because it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Tony helped a lot, which was fantastic, and John. And that we are at this point with Stuart building cabinets and
it's a completely different room.
It is.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Yeah. So that is truly fantastic. I don't know what next week's episode is going to be about.
I don't either, but I guess we'll find out next week.
On this note, if you like to watch us, please give us a thumb up, subscribe, and recommend us to your friends and family. If you want to support the renovation of the Chateau, join us on Patreon or buy us a coffee. We also have plans actually for Patreon, which we will come to like in a week or two because it's really exciting. And so the patrons have patrons. We did a poll. We asked what we should do, and we are in the process of ordering something for the Chateau. It's really exciting.
It is very exciting, yes.
So, see you next week.
A bientôt.
Happy weekend.
Yes.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Au revoir.
If you enjoyed this video, please use the like feature to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Journey to the Chateau YouTube channel if you would like to see more. Once you've subscribed, you can tap the notification bell in order to ring it, which will allow you to receive all notifications from our channel. Thank you.